Morning, Cedric. You're listening to the Real Life Trading Pre-Market Day Trading Show. You're listening to the Real Life Trading Pre-Market Day Trading Show. All right, what is up, YouTube and traders from around the world? It's Robert here. Good morning. Hope you all had a great day yesterday. Yeah, Bandad, it's Robert on Thursdays. It's a good morning. We switched up the schedules a little bit for 2022. Still sounds weird saying 2022. I'm sure I'll get it down though by June or July. All right, so good morning. Here's the SPY. A little doji yesterday. The market couldn't really tell. Like, is 7% inflation? Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? What's going on? Is inflation so high you have to buy, or is the Fed gonna get crazy and stop printing billions of dollars and move rates off of zero anytime soon? I don't know. We shall see. I know Jeremy wants an inside day today. I'm not sure that we're going to get an inside day because the range was pretty small yesterday, but you never know. We'll see. So it's the SPY and the Qs, both pretty flat. Here's the IWM, also pretty flat. The Dow's up a little bit more, but basically flat. Couple of the stocks in the news. KB Homes. So I think their overall revenue was down a little bit, but like average home selling price was up, and they're anticipating a strong housing market continuing. We do have a housing shortage in the U.S., and what was interesting is they're actually doing some things to consolidate, like the things that you can pick. The finishes and appliances that you can pick in the house, because the supply chain is still jacked up. So like rather than 50 different dishwashers, maybe you can only pick from like 10 or something like that, so they can try to build these things a little bit faster. Well, I thought it was interesting, I looked at lumber yesterday. Look at the price of wood again. Lumber's like, oh, wood came down. Well, it's on its way back up. So since the middle of November, when it turned, lumber is up another 100%. No big deal. Making houses more expensive. Micron, yeah, Micron's a good gap. I like that one. I think this is a potential wave 3 in here. We'll see. We hit that all-time high, pulled back a little bit, but I think we're going to rotate and continue higher. Decent gap today. It's definitely going to be on my watch list. Space, Virgin Galactic. The space Ponzi scheme needs another injection of capital so that the insiders can sell their shares and the company can, try to survive. But nothing like a sell the news. As soon as Branson went to space, this thing was an immediate sell. It's probably never looked back. Let's see, when Momo flipped short in July and is still short. That's pretty terrible. So I personally would not touch this thing. I think it's going below 10. They're issuing a convertible note, and the company has like no revenue, so yeah, wouldn't touch that one. But that's in the news today. Airbnb. I like the candles on Airbnb the last couple days. You got a nice little morning star reversal over here. Good little MSR. You got a nice little hammer candle right there with a good lower wick, representing some buying pressure. You're above the 10 and the 20 again. There's some long-term moving averages in here. Yeah, you're above the 200, but we do have the 100 in front of our face. So what I would like to see is I would like to see a close above the 100. We can do this or like this, but I don't want to see us dip back below here before we close back above the 100. Personally, I own some shares of Airbnb and I have a $185 covered call. I think it's for, let me get a look here. I think it's for the first week. What is it? Yeah, week 1, February. February week 1. Is that that covered call? 185. I think that might be right over earnings, but I'm not 100% sure on that because trading view is always off. I have to go look at earnings whisper. Yeah, that's Airbnb. I think it looks nice. I know there's a lot of people in that accumulating or bought some shares, etc. Let's see, Jinko Solar in a really, really big pennant pattern. I personally do not like this one. Chinese solar company. I think Biden passed some or either executive order or passed some like additional tariffs or something on polysilicon. So I don't like Jinko Solar. I personally would go with First Solar. They don't use polysilicon technology. I'd wait for like a double bottom or something like that. Like if we would have got above this candle, that would have been nice. Take out this bear candle. Try to form some type of small double bottom. Let's see, Taiwan Semiconductor. Taiwan Semi's a little bit tougher to day trade. As you can see, it's gapping up pretty large just because we're not the primary market that it trades on. It looks great. You have a, how long is this? Almost a year long, 10, 11 months worth of a channel. So you have a nice little channel here, breaks out, retests, and it looks like it's going higher. So yeah, Taiwan Semi looks good. Again, I don't think I would day trade it just because most of the trading takes place on another exchange overnight. It just doesn't really move a ton on the US side. Yeah, Taiwan Semi looks good. If you're in, congratulations. If when it makes a new high, I would probably sell a call. Pretty sure this one's optionable. Let me just double check. Yeah, it has options. Yep. Taiwan Semi does indeed have options. Go through our list of the ones that we're watching. So AMD pretty much looks exactly like the Qs. Same with Nvidia. They're not gapping outside of the range. Tesla is gapping outside of the range, so this actually looks pretty nice. So Tesla held up pretty nice yesterday. Had a little bit of a stronger day than most things. Roblox, if we can get it back above this candle, that also looks good. Nice gap fill and bounce. Now, I don't think that we're just going to do this. We probably trade up like that and maybe do something like this. But you never know. Roblox can move pretty quick. Apple inside gap. Doji looking like a double top. Hit the 3 trillion mark and immediately sold off. Could this be the bottom on Apple? I mean, it could be. I would still love a retest of the 100 again, maybe even down into here. The overall market's going to have to pull back for Apple to do that. And then Delta, I think they had earnings today as well. Decent sized gap on Delta. I think 42 is going to be a big grandma number. I think someone was saying that there's a bunch of orders in the book on that one as well. Yeah, there's definitely a chunk of orders in there. And this thing rejected 41.97. High right here. 41.85, so we didn't even get back there. So yeah, I would be careful trying to get too much out of Delta today. Maybe you can get a quick pop to the 200. On Delta. Let's see, what are some others? ILMN needs to retest a little bit more. Crocs looks like a gorgeous double bottom. This retest gap is fairly large, so I would expect some type of retest into it, but it does look like a really nice double bottom. Also like this trap right here, a little undercut and rally. So the prior low was 115.85. This low was 115.58, so it went like 22 cents lower and then just ripped out of there. Filled this gap, double bottomed off the 200. Looks like it's holding the 200 now. So this is an area that it needs to hold, and so far it looks like it held. Morning, Vald. So Crocs looks pretty decent. Again, I'd buy a retest. It's also, if you look at fundamentals, let's go to FinViz. Let's go look at Crocs. The underlying business is pretty good. 14 times forward PE, price of sales of 3.8, 73% growth. Now, do I think it keeps up with 73% growth? I mean, probably not. But heck, even if it's at like 35%, like half of that growth, why would you buy like a Teladoc or a Fastly or any of that garbage that just keeps going lower, and you could buy Crocs? They're making money. They're not burning cash. So that Crocs looks good. How far do you think we go until another rollover on what, Haley? It's everything's trading a little bit different, so it's hard to really, depends on what you're asking about. Here's PayPal. So also another potential undercut and rally. We'll see if that one holds. Here is Facebook in a nice little pennant pattern. Bros hammered is retesting. GM inside day. The DocuSign looks horrible. Twitter looks pretty terrible. Looks like a bear flag. Lindy looks good. L3 Harris, interesting. If you can get back above here, it might be worth a shot. Crypto, so crypto is just hanging out. Bounced a little bit. Does look a little head and shoulder-ish though. For the SPY, so basically like do the mega caps roll over. I think we do. I think we're going to enter some type of funky distribution phase. We might make a new high and then just trade all the way back down into here. Now again, there's a SPY is a little bit tougher because there's a lot of rotation underneath the scenes in the SPY. Yeah, again, the SPY cannot go higher without Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Google, just because of the market caps and the weighting. But there's a lot of rotation into names that, are making money and inflationary environments are good for them, like the banks and energy, etc. So SPY can still have that rotation underneath the scenes, but like if you look at the Qs, we have expanding range right here. So we have an expanding range to the downside, and we're pretty flat here. So I think that we could just continue to chop around. So far for the year, it's been the story of 2022, and we're only 2 weeks in, is Chopzilla. So I don't know that we have to necessarily go like a lot higher or go a lot lower. I think we could chop around quite a bit. A lot of talk about inflation and the Fed, but at the end of the day, like the Fed is still printing money right now. They haven't turned the tap off. They're slowing it down, but they're still printing money out of thin air, and rates are still at zero. So, like, are they really going to move, or are they going to try to hold out until March? Last year is when the inflation report really spiked. So, starting in March, if you have this big spike, and then you get to compare prior March to this March, and then it's like, oh look, it's flat. Well, it never really came down and just stopped going up as fast. So I don't know. I don't know if the Fed really does want to raise rates. I mean, I think they do, but we'll see. The rubber meets the road. What they probably should be doing is just immediately stopping printing and raising rates just to show that they're serious. Let the market take a hit, and then the market will digest it and move forward. Because I do think that the economy is strong. But we'll see. Gold chopping around, trying to bounce. Here's Netflix. Pretty critical level here on Netflix. If Netflix breaks this area, I mean, I don't see any reason why we wouldn't see low 500s. We take these candles out. Nvidia did bounce off the 100 nicely. This put sales bot to close. That was free money. Pins in a nasty downtrend. CrowdStrike, again, has rolled over. Now making lower highs. Probably continues to make lower lows. Square does not look great. Did bounce a little bit, but you are still in a nasty downtrend. We cannot close above the 10 on Square. Even back here, where everyone thought, oh hey, that's it, it's gonna bounce. A lot of people dumped their puts. We never closed above the 10. We still have not closed above this. It's the primary moving average. It's holding it down. So Square looks like it might be going lower. Disney, on the other hand, Disney looks good. Starting to make higher lows. Did make a new relative high right here. So it actually had a pivot back above the moving average. GBTC, just going to follow Bitcoin kind of. Now, GBTC does trade at a premium to Bitcoin because of the way that the trust works, but I only own this one in my IRA because I can't just buy Bitcoin in there without doing some other things. Moving money around. So I would just buy Bitcoin. I would just buy slowly because Bitcoin, yeah, a little bit of a downtrend at the moment. And if growth starts getting hit again, crypto's going to start to get hit. Crypto is still linked to risk assets. The Fed has printed $7 trillion. Much of that money has found its way into crypto. So while crypto is like the anti-fiat, anti-Fed play, it also owes a lot of its move to the fact that the Fed has printed so much money. If the Fed had not printed so much money, this bull run would have been a lot smaller. So, in a weird way, the Fed has kind of inflated Bitcoin and all of crypto. Because people have been forced to speculate, try to keep up with inflation. There's money that's floating around out there that doesn't know where to go. So people are spending it on dog coins, dog tokens. I do have some Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some Maker, and some lotto ticket stuff and poop coins. Oddly enough, like Dogelon was the practically the top, the poop coin that I made the most money on. So yeah, any other stock requests out there for the morning? How's Pulte responding? Pulte's looking good. Toll Brothers. Upstart. Um, it looks like a giant middle finger pattern. So, I don't know if it's gonna go up or down. What I can tell you is it's not gonna do this again. It's not gonna just do that because the first time is easy. Now you got a bunch of people stuck in this. So like, what are all these folks saying they bought here? Thought they were buying the dip. They thought they bought the dip. They thought they bought the dip. They thought they bought the dip. What are they out there saying? They're saying, if I can just get my money back, I'll sell. If I can just get my money back, I'll sell. If I just get my money back, I'll sell. So it creates a lot of overhead supply. So if this is going to, like, it looks like it's holding this support. If you want to start nibbling down here, that's okay. I would not have huge positions on this, and I would wait for a little more of a double bottom. Wait for it to close above the 10, and then maybe take a retest of the 10. Try to like resume an uptrend. Bottom line on some of these things, if it is going to trade higher, let's say back into here, does it matter if you get it right here or you get it right here, or you get it right here or here? Like, there's no reason to rush back into this. If you're holding it from up here, I mean, good luck. It could be a long time. This gap was like, get the hell out of this thing. Trend broken, parabolic move. So, Affirm is kind of similar. This is the buy now, pay never stock, right? When the economy turns to bad, I don't know when that's going to be, but at some point it will, because market cycles always do that. Either Affirm, Upstart, or SoFi, one of them will go under. I don't know which one, but one of them will go either 2-0 or get like bought out for pennies on the dollar. SoFi is already looking pretty nasty. You got all these like lower highs, lower lows, huge volatility. I think they like raised money up here. So yeah, Space is a Ponzi scheme. I already talked about that one. So this is a Ponzi. They're trying to raise more money. Look at the insider selling on Space. This company shouldn't even be public, in my opinion. Insider transactions minus 96%. So the insiders are selling the hell out of this stock to retail. Pretty much have no. Now it's a little late to come in and short it now, but yeah, absolutely zero chance of me buying this. Chamath bailed up here somewhere, dumped all his shares. Branson just continues to sell his shares. They even sold their own RIP. They issued more shares up here. Now they're trying to raise money at the bottom. Probably not going to be great. So yeah, that thing's a disaster. Hut 8 mining. Like Jabba the Hutt mining. Looks like a Head and Shoulders. If I want to play crypto, I would just rather, if this is a mining company for crypto, I don't know if it is or not. I would just rather buy Bitcoin versus play a mining play, personally. Not a believer in the miners. Or like buy Coinbase. The problem with space is like you should have been shorting it this whole time. Or like this earnings rip over here, where it's like I think they had like I don't know $20,000 in revenue or something dumb, and the stock started ripping. Like that was the place to short, or maybe this rip. But you want to sell the rip, not like sell the dip, even if it tries to go a little bit lower. It's there's not as much meat on the bone. The risk reward gets really hard as things get closer and closer to penny stock land. Because things don't go straight to zero. They just it's like death by a thousand cuts. A long, slow bleed. Let's see overall markets. Um, yeah, so it looks like we might be resolving a little bit to the upside here. Delta did pull back a little bit, so we're not gonna be looking at that. The only one clearing its range, I think, might be Tesla. But before we turn off the YouTube broadcast, did want to remind everyone that we do have our free week. So if you want to hang out in the trading rooms for 5 hours every day between the week of January 24th and 28th, we have 2 live trading rooms in the morning. Got a free week. Go right to our website and you can sign up right there. You don't have to input your credit card or anything crazy. It's literally free. It's for sale for free 99, as they say. But would love to see all of you there. We also have our swing trading room in the afternoon. Man, Delta fading that entire gap, huh? That thing looks ugly. Nvidia might go through yesterday's range. I don't know if Tesla's going to or not, actually. I'm not a big fan of trading inside days, so Tesla earnings coming up soon, perhaps why it's closing its gaps. Well, we still have this gap that is unfilled down here. But we all know they're going to do well on earnings, right? Because they released their deliveries. That was great. So I think a good earnings is like kind of baked into the stock already. Tesla just doesn't really move a whole lot on earnings. Except for like when it first started breaking out, like somewhere over here. It's hard to remember what the split adjusted price is. But otherwise, it doesn't really move a bunch on earnings. A great way to lose money is to buy expensive options on Tesla over earnings and then just get IV crushed. It's usually some other type of news, like again the news over here on deliveries, the Hertz order, stuff like that. That it moves on, not earnings. All right. Any last questions before we close out the YouTube broadcast? Craig is signed up. Awesome. We'll see you there, Craig. All right, y'all. Thanks for hanging out this morning. Good luck out there in the markets today. Remember, you do not have to make money every day to make money every week. You do not have to trade every day to make money every month. Wait for your setup and then strike with your risk mitigated. And we will see y'all tomorrow. Thanks, YouTube. See you later.